Hello, everybody. I see George is a submarine today. Cool. Uh, we can wait a few minutes to see if anybody else shows up. Um, I may have to dip out here. I don't have anything to talk about today, but if you
How
guys
are you
do,
feeling?
I'm upright. No, I'm pretty good. Like I've got a little cough left over. But I'm okay.
Okay.
So, I mean, I can get us started, unless we don't have much to talk about. Uh, but we'll do a clean cut for the recording in case we do. So this is the koha-US web dev sig for September. I did send an email to Lucas about changing the name to koha customization, but I think it probably got lost in his inbox and I didn't follow up on that. So I think we're still probably on track to change this group to rename it koha customizations. Um, I just have to get him um, on board with it, which I will try and get back on my to-do list. So, does anybody have anything they want to talk about? Bugs, questions, cool stuff you've been doing in Koha?
I have just been knee deep in other things, so no.
Uh,
Maybe next month I'll have things to.
Prepping for next
Christopher,
week.
Christopher and I did a video about the coolest thing I've done lately, the most useful thing I've done lately. So I don't know if you guys have seen that or not. Screen two. So the issue that I was having is that people were just sending me, particularly after upgrades, people send me stuff and they say this doesn't work. And so I just created a drop down over here that's called Get Troubleshooting Data. And it just copies a bunch of stuff to the clipboard that they can email me all that stuff, and it'll say what URL they were on, what the breadcrumbs are, who was logged in, what branch they were logged in at, which browser they're using, and it'll even show the screen size and the zoom rate. So um, that came in handy after the upgrade because people were telling me this isn't working. And then I would say, well, which page are you on? Did you clear your cache? Which browser are you using? And this way they can just, I can just tell them to go do that and send me the results. And then I know which page they were on, and I know which browser they're using, and I know who was logged in, and I know what time it happened. So
Did you find that information helped you solve the problem?
in a couple of cases it did. It's like, wow, you're using that version of Firefox, or I didn't know they still made Netscape Navigator, things like that. So, and I put the instructions for that is at that space. So, um, and it walks through all of the different parts that I did to get there. So, but it is just all jQuery. Um, and it did come in handy. The hardest part was, the first time I put it out there, I didn't have, right now I've got it so that it's got, um, when you click on it, it has this warning message pop up. And I didn't have that there the first time. So it would just, you would click on it, and then I would tell people to click on it and then paste the information someplace else. And then they said, well, I clicked on it and nothing happened. And so making the warning pop up, the alert box pop up, actually is just, it doesn't really do anything. It's just there to tell them something happened. Because when it wasn't there, they would just say, well, I click on it and nothing happens. So putting that there is like a trigger for them to say, yes, something did happen. But that's the only useful thing I've done like in a couple of months. So
Only that?
Wow. Really sell yourself short, George, I feel like.
I don't know. I feel like there's so many other things I should be doing and I could be doing. So right now I was debating whether or not to come to this because Jason and I are doing a presentation on Tuesday at WolfCon that I don't feel ready for, and I'm sure he doesn't feel ready for, especially having been sick last week. So mostly I came to see if Jason was alive.
Yes, yes, I'm alive. I need to take a look at those slides again. We're still meeting tomorrow though, right? To sort of hash things out.
Yeah, did you send me an email with the time?
I did not. You send me an email with the time. I'm free all
Oh, I
day.
did?
No,
I
you
thought
should. You should do it right now.
okay. I'll send you an
Or
email with a specific time. I just said I'm free all day tomorrow, so I'll send a
okay,
specific time.
that works for me. We're wildly organized. Thank you.
Are you still gonna stop and visit me, George, when you come up?
To North Dakota?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually been meaning to contact you because I think I've got an idea what I want to do, and I think I'll just do something. And if you they gave me the primo spot for doing a presentation at a conference. It's the last presentation of the day on the last day of the conference.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I mean that's golden time. There'll be like 4 people there. So um I had originally talked about, you and I could do something together, but then there was a whole bunch of stuff happened, and I don't know if there's time to really collaborate on anything.
Oh.
Um,
Well, if you're coming through Fargo, let's have lunch.
okay, yeah,
Uh,
you're not actually going to be in Grand Forks?
I doubt it.
Okay.
I could be. There's no reason I don't think there's a reason I couldn't be in Grand Forks.
Well, I'll talk to Robin because we are driving there and Robin is going with me. And Robin has a lot to do with this conference because
Right.
she is the president of NPLA this year,
Okay.
which is how I got roped into the whole thing to begin with. So
I'm honestly trying to think if there's anything that weekend that's preventing me other than just the fact that my general aversion to conferences. So I don't think so. Next week I'm going to okay. Yeah. Anyway, one way or the other, we should connect as you come through because you have to go by me to get to Grand Forks. I know you do.
well, I'll tell Robin. We'll see how big a hurry she's in to get there and how desperate she is to leave once she hands the gavel over to the next president, or sucker, as I think she calls him. I haven't been to Fargo in a long, long time. So
Still here.
Fargo is where is that big statue of Paul Bunyan, right?
No, that's Bemidji.
That's
Actually,
Bemidji.
there are several cities in
Yeah,
Minnesota that have big Paul Bunyan statues. That's kind of a thing.
there's a lumberjack in St. Mary's, Idaho, and their school song is "I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay."
We do have a wooden carving of the lady from the movie Fargo in the visitors theater, and we have uh, the wood chippers at the visitor center if you want to see that.
So we might have strayed off the topic here.
Yeah, let's bring it back around. So one thing that we've been doing in the education committee at Charlie's suggestion was sort of just looking at what customizations we've done, like to Koha to the staff client. So this group might be a good place to do that too, if we just want to like share and show, like just share a screen and then because for the new people, they haven't seen what we've done in the past, the little things that we've done to adjust our workflows to make things easier customization wise. So if anybody has an inkling to do that, that might be a good way to fill some time here.
I could do that. I would need some time to prep. So maybe next month I'd be happy to do that. But one of the big ones that I've been working on is we've color coded all our transfers. So when all of three of our branches have a color that everybody knows. And so when something gets transferred, the color of the branch appears in the dialogue background of the dialog box. But I would need some time to set up like a transfer. But I was just working on that, so it came to mind.
When I was at Latah County Library, I did that with the labels that we put on the boxes that we ship from branch to branch, but I never thought of pushing that on further to have Koha match that too.
It's one of those weird. We also do it with the header. We color code the header so the person knows what branch they're logged into. Otherwise, people forget if they are rarely at a different branch. But it's one of those few things that we got consistent, like all of our color coding on the shelves and this inserts we put in the books. Like I don't know how we managed to all be on the same page for once, but that was how.
Well, and how many branches do you have?
Just three.
Yeah,
Well,
color.
four. We actually do have a fourth sort of hidden branch, but yeah.
It's harder to do when you have 50 libraries. So there aren't that many shades of blue.
So yeah, I mean, stuff like that is great to sort of get out there on a recording somewhere that hasn't been recorded before. And also we should always be talking about, is that a bug? Could it be a bug? How could we implement that into the base code if it's useful for everybody? So if anybody else has like not necessarily new stuff, but like extremely useful staff client or OPAC modifications that you've done, maybe we can look at some of those. I'm trying to think if I've got any that I haven't shown off.
Well, and I'm looking on the wiki right now because I have something on my homepage, but I don't know if the stuff is on the wiki. I don't want to show off something and then not be able to tell people how to do it. And it is there. Okay, so let me share my screen again. So here's a link in the chat box to the wiki. So this is just a template of so there are several pages in Koha, like the home page, and I closed my home page, so let me open that up. Where you can put HTML like here on the home page, or you can also do it on reports and circulation, where there's in the tools you can go and you can add HTML to this section underneath the tabs. And so what I have in the wiki is, now that Koha is using Bootstrap, you can use the Bootstrap accordion functions to set these things up as accordions. I'm using them tab functions from Bootstrap, which is similar, but I can put this stuff here, and so I've got the accordion set up so that these are tabbed content rather than the accordions that fold up and down. They work as tabs. But you can set all of this up so that this way it's only taking up this much of the space. But when people want to go to the statistics table for all the statistical reports we save, all that content goes all the way down to the bottom so that they can find their statistics easy. On the circulation page, I've got tabs set up so that I've got my library contact sheet here, and the hold schedule, holds queue is there. But this is just a framework you can use to copy and paste this into those system preferences. And then you can put all of that. And there's a list of all of the places in the customization tool where you can put that. And I think this needs to be updated because I think I know this one is already in the customization tool. I think these two might have moved in the last update. I'm not 100% sure on those two. But you can copy and paste this into those preferences. And then it gets you the framework for setting up those tabs. So all you have to do is, relabel them and put your content in here. And you can do all that. And I'm thinking I'm not using acquisitions. Let me make sure there's nothing in acquisitions. Because on the acquisitions homepage, isn't there a space down here? I'm
I
using
want
reports.
it seems like that was one that was recently added, maybe.
Oh, well, let's look and see. HTML customization. I guess if they're not there, you have to create them, don't you? Staff acquisitions home, and that's a customization. So, stuff again. Right now it's just showing the one button because I've only got content on one. So, but the thing I like about this is it allows you to add the content. You can add a whole bunch of content. It doesn't have to be like a mile tall. That can just be folded up neatly into the different panels in the accordion. And it just uses the bootstrap stuff that's already there. So, and so you can take that template and put it any place you want in Koha and just have to tweak the content to put it wherever you want it. So
I was
and I
trying to
think
find here's a website. So I got this out of some conference somewhere. It's Breakneck Bootstrap. But it's got like different formulas for different things, like HTML code recipes basically. So if you want to do the different things with Bootstrap, it'll give you a starting point. Just like George's accordion code will.
I
Is
think
Koa
I've got
on 5 yet? Do we know? I suppose I can look at this.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I think so. I think that's what it got changed to. That broke all those things.
I think
But
with
it
2411, it switched to
okay.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pulled up in my console in staff global CSS. It says Bootstrap 5.3.3.
Yeah. So you should be able to use those Bootstrap 5 formulas, components. anywhere that you can put custom HTML. As long as you're using those correct Bootstrap classes, it should trigger the right jQuery and stuff to do animations and whatnot.
Yeah, I need to check and see if that Bootstrap on the wiki is fully compliant.
So I was digging around while George was showing off. I found the oldest thing I could in our system. So maybe something we haven't talked about too much, which I can share. It is on the wiki as well. So there's the link to that. It's more consortially focused, but I remember like Nick writing this way back. um Early on in Koha when he was back at Vocal or Vocal, however you say that. And it collapses the locations in the search results so that it emphasizes if you have a local copy held. So I can show you what it looks like in my system. So I gotta uncover everything on these Zoom controls. So if you do a search in our system, if I turn off the jQuery, the location over here lists everything out. It sort of extends the page, especially if there are lots of holdings. So if you use that code or a version of that code, it'll collapse it down and say, hey, there's no local copies there. If I think I'm logged in as the Hive. Where are they at? Maybe they don't have any snowballs. Let me switch to Iola.
I always search for Harry Potter because it's got the most.
I just had snowballs on my mind because it's my messed up search result. Because like that's the electronic resource, and then I get some titles that are not just snowball in the title, and I have to go over to page 2 to get the physical copy of the snowball. Which that whole boost exact match title search thing should fix that, but it seems to be broken. Got a ticket out on that. But that's a total tangent. Back to the little thing I was showing. So this one's got a local copy, so you can see that it's popping out by default. And then we've got this button up here that will expand and contract the full results if somebody wants to see that all in one place. But it makes the page a lot shorter because it's and cleaner because it's a consistent height on the table rows. And that's something when it breaks, my libraries will like revolt because they don't like the appearance otherwise.
Well, and it's easier if you're at the library and you're doing a search like that. Your chances are that people want something that's in the building right now. And it's
Right.
easier to find when you've got, over 40 libraries. It's easier to find the things that are here when you can see which ones are here. And that has changed a lot because I remember Nick had the original code for that at the 2015 conference in Wenatchee. And then immediately it changed, and then it changed again, and it changed again. And it's changed so many times in different versions. Um,
Yeah.
I have it working now, and I have it set up so that the local copies are local to the districts, not just the individual libraries. So the Donovan County, they see all the Donovan County records at all 4 of their branches, not just the ones that are at the branch you're standing in, because that's what they wanted. So. I think
Do you
my
remember?
oldest, I think my oldest thing is code that I wrote at Valnet that we don't use anymore that took the patron's last name and it made it the password. When you type in the patron's name, it automatically fills that into the password field.
We
Ours
had
was
something like that,
definitely
but it felt like it
Right.
caused more problems than it solved.
We're using little like fill buttons. I can show that too, I guess.
Yeah, I would be interested in seeing that.
I got this from George, so I'll just show off his his code. But if I do a new patron or edit a patron, we're using these fill buttons from other fields in the record. So if like say you fill out the card number and the phone number, I should use something different so it stands out. And then I guess we're using last name. It'll do I can fill the username with combinations of those
Okay.
things. The randomizer, I have it like very simplified down. So this is the randomizer that you see on, let me pull up a test account. So if you go to the change password page, there's some code built in already to randomly generate passwords. And I just took that and simplified it down to like a 4-character code with the hope that they will change it. And I went through and took out all the confusing characters. So like I's and L's and stuff won't show up in here so that it doesn't, lowercase i's will, uppercase i's won't, that sort of thing. And then we can also copy down last for the phone number, last for the card number, although that one's not working for some reason. I wonder if I put it in the wrong field. Oh yeah, I'm in the alternate address. Put that up there.
The button
Then I
would I like the button idea because when I was doing last name into the password field, I was just doing like, because we do that with username and card number, we just copy the card number into the username field. But with last name, if somebody was leaving something unfinished or had made a typo or something, the button would probably resolve that. It's a good idea.
Typos are the worst. I also have some jQuery on my system that prevents people from putting leading or trailing spaces in the name fields. That's pretty simple code. I think it's on the wiki, but that has saved me a lot of trouble. We had problems with one patron or a card number where the card number was 260 characters long because somebody scanned the barcode number and then they set like their barcode scanner on the space bar. And so we were getting all these weird things going on because the patron's barcode number was too long. And so I changed there is a system preference that lets you specify the maximum barcode length. And so I turned that on, but then I also added this code that prevents unnecessary spaces. And I'm pretty sure that's on the wiki.
Speaking of randomization, Jason, this might be a thing everybody does, but for our spinner, I have it on our online catalog. For the cover flow spinner, I have the tabs program to randomly switch every time it loads. So it takes account of the total number of tabs we currently have and will randomly select one using the math random library in JavaScript.
Good idea.
Yeah.
So one thing about the password that we've changed is we started using the must reset your password at first login feature. Is anybody else using that? I like that a lot.
I didn't get a no when I proposed that. I got like a expletive no
Yeah, it would
from
be
my
insane.
users.
Yeah. If we could do it for staff, but for the public, it would be insane.
I just didn't give anybody a choice. I said this is a new feature that's being turned on in the next version. So
That is basically what I did as well.
yeah. So and it only affects staff that create a new user. Like if a staff member creates the new user, then it triggers this. But if they're self-registered, it doesn't. So
The biggest like complaint justification they gave me was Hoopla, and the patrons just get real confused with Hoopla and then having to change the password in 2 places, and I can sort of understand the amount of staff time sink that would cause.
For us, it was Canopy and computer sign up. So many people just never log into the OPAC. They just want to sign up for a computer, and yeah, it would just been, we would have spent our whole day resetting passwords.
so for us, since we're using Aspen, most of our users are getting their Hoopla and their other sources through Aspen. So it really isn't that much of an issue because they get the card, they go to their first time to sign into Aspen is the first time they're usually using anything. So because it does only affect newly created accounts, it doesn't force that on people that accounts were created in the past. So
We're looking at overhauling staff passwords because we haven't done a very good job about that. So that's in my future.
Yeah, we're gonna hopefully early next year get into our SSO system with the rest of our stuff. City uses Okta, and I'd like to get Koha linked.
Yeah, we're gonna try to set up SSO here before the end of the year, I think, because of new state regulations,
so just for staff though, right?
just for staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dream would be for us to like manage the like every one of our libraries would have a Google account under us, and then we could use single sign-on and we could manage their notice emails and do all that internally. But right now it's all decentralized, so it's not really a possibility for us.
Yeah, that's the big issue with us too, the decentralization. We are using the patron category feature that allows us to create a longer and more complex password for staff members rather than for those categories that have staff members than the patron categories. So I think I currently have my staff are set to 14 characters long and must be upper, lower, and numerals. So I wanted to go 20, but I think that would have been pushing them too hard. So
Has anybody done anything with the like built-in two-factor functionality in Koha?
I created an account and I tested it and it didn't work for me. Every time I tried to log in, I had trouble. And so I decided I would wait. I know that Christopher's library, or the CIN consortium, was using it. And he was telling me that they've had trouble migrating that it's caused trouble in their migration to with their breakup of CIN, that it's caused trouble because they had to turn it off to do the breakup, and turning it back on has proved to be complicated because their data that's been transported to the new kohas they've created remembers that they used to have multi-factor, and that's creating a hassle for them. So
EIN Idaho, I'm forgetting where.
CIN is the consortium that Christopher's library used to be a part of, the Cooperative Information Network, and it's in northern Idaho. And they had a library that was, they had issues, and one of the libraries wanted them to change a bunch of things, and the other libraries were resistant, and it ended up with them dissolving that consortium and essentially creating 3 new consortia.
Oh, okay, that's the one that I think Georgette is also a part of, are they?
Yeah, Georgette is part of that too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think there were like close to 30 libraries that were part of that, and it crosses state lines, and that was part of the complication too. They were operating on some kind of old memorandum of understanding rather than, they never structured themselves legally as a 501c3. So the new consortium that Christopher is going to be a part of is going to be structured as a 501c3 so that it will be less complicated if they ever want to break up again or add. They'll have better bylaws about adding and removing members. So
So George, you early adopted, right? Any news from that?
we haven't had any significant problems at all. We haven't had any real issues. The reason we early adopted was because I wanted the group holds functions, and we haven't had any significant issues. At least if we have had significant issues, they haven't made it to me. Which if they were significant, we would have gotten calls the first day.
I guess this bug from the Roundup is sort of this SIG related because you have to put the fix in your internet user CSS until it gets patched. Definitely ran into some people that were still running into that issue at conference, so we helped them get that in. But it's becoming a more annoying thing, it sounds like, for more people.
So,
And there is just a bit of CSS you can pop in to make it stop doing that.
so I have a question about that. So we have the CSS added to our live instance. The question is, do I have to do anything after the update? Like, do I need to like take it out again, or would that be?
So there's still no actual fix for this. Like the bug is just setting it confirmed. So after the upgrade, it's still going to be a problem. I would assume.
Okay.
So you're going to want to leave that in until it actually gets patched, and then you would just remove that chunk of code after it does get patched.
Gotcha.
I'm not even sure I understand the bug because we haven't experienced that problem, as far as I know.
When you scroll a table, a very long table slowly, it'll jitter at the top of the page. And then if you scroll quickly, it will get past, but then it's hard to see the stuff on the top of the table. So you get this jittering in very long tables that where the header sticks to the top and the table scrolls.
Yeah, if you had it happen and you'd notice it for sure.
Yes,
It's super
absolutely.
annoying.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's causing it because I'm on a Harry Potter record with 69 visible records and it's not happening at all. And I don't have that fix in my system. Or if somebody put it in there, it wasn't me.
I want to say it's like it was definitely happening more in Chrome than Firefox, browser
Yes.
specificity, and you guys use Firefox,
Ah,
so
yeah, I
Yeah.
use Firefox. If it's in Chrome, I'll have to open Chrome. I might have to download Chrome. Ugh.
Chrome or Edge, because it's happening in Edge too.
We've been having a lot of slowness on our check-in. Once we get to our check-in table gets very long, usually about 50 items. Koha is really starting to drag, and I'm trying to figure out if it's related to this or if it's just a coincidence. I think it's a coincidence, but anything that relates to tables, and we have a table getting very long.
yeah, I think we reduced that to only show like the first 20 or something, because once the tables get big, the page really does start to slow down. Yeah, I just found this as ours is set to 20 for that. I haven't had complaints about it.
What do you have yours set to, Jason?
Ours is set to 20.
Okay,
I don't know what the default is.
maybe 20 because that's what I had to.
I do think that we had it set higher at one point, and it was bogging down the check-in process. We've also run into things where like we use check previous checkout, so like during checkouts we'll get real slow if people have big histories and stuff. There's still some slowness surrounding circulation for us. Oh, I ran into something weird when I was doing my local upgrade thing on the hold history. I don't, that was during my brain fog. Like, don't do a training when you're at home with COVID, guys. Kind of fuzzy. But I think the sorting got weird, or like it could be that save configuration stayed on those tables because it was like it would keep the sort, and some of the sorts weren't working right. It was, I don't know. What I was trying to show off was the fact that if you delete a record that's in the holds history, it actually still retains that information in the holds history, which is nice. It's something we wanted for the sort history for a long time, but having it in the holds history is better than nowhere at all, um, which does work.
Well, I can't replicate this on Firefox either, so I'm wondering if somebody applied that patch to my system without me knowing it.
It is possible that Bywater put it in the special sauce. I haven't looked at that, but it's not listed on their bug roundup as being such, so I don't know.
Or Firefox is just that good.
I just logged in using Chrome, so, and I didn't see the problem in Chrome. It's also, there's so much crap in my system, it's entirely possible some other thing I'm doing fixed it without me even intending it to. I'm going back to that bug roundup page to see if I. It's going to try and see anything with the data table class.
I've got to take off. This has been interesting. I think this is the first time I've come to the web dev meeting. So see you guys later.
Thanks for coming. Come back again.
Oh yeah.
And
Definitely. Next
the
one.
main name might change to Koha Customizations.
Okay. That
Yeah,
makes
we're still
sense.
working on that.
All right. All right. See you later. Bye.
Yeah. All right. Anything else people want to show off or talk about? Kelly, you got anything cool you're doing down there in Texas? Sorry for the call out.
I really don't. I'm just kind of fly on the wall today.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, thanks for coming anyways.
Hmm.
I've been working on this in Grease Monkey to get it ready for putting it on my production system probably. So I can share this. It's the issue has been that this table, the holdings table is getting wider, especially now that shelving location has moved in there. So I've written something, and I can open this up in a when I hover over the table, it goes full screen. And it's just some really simple jQuery that so as soon as I move off the table, it goes back to normal size. And so if I'm up here, everything's fine. But as soon as I move over this, I get the full width of the screen for the table.
Is that impacting any of your accessibility requirements?
That I don't know. I haven't run the accessibility checker on it.
Okay.
Some alerts and errors. I wonder what they are. I'll have to look more closely at that, but that's what that's one of the things that I've been looking at because there are a couple of things that we have where there are times when this table can run off the side of the page. And so to be able to hover over it and have it be full screen, it's just it pushes this when you're over it down beneath, which I can't scroll far enough down to. It's hard to get there. But you can see down at all of the stuff that's normally on the sidebar just gets pushed to the bottom, is the way that I've got it written right now. And it's still a work in progress. I just started on it last week, so. And so right now I don't even have it on my system. It's just in Grease Monkeys that it's on my computer when I turn that piece on, so.
I'm still so conflicted about how wide those tables are getting, but I feel like there's nothing I can take away from it that people aren't gonna miss.
I really like the way Aspen implements, I don't have Aspen, but how Aspen implements it from a patron perspective. Because patrons don't really need the table view, and so they just get, a itemized view with the relevant information below it. And that's, I think on the OPAC side, the best way of handling it. I don't think that's the best way of doing it on the patron side or the staff side. But
Yeah, this is the same record in Aspen. It puts everything into a vertical. I don't know why the cover images aren't showing up at the moment. And I'm at Atchison, okay. But yeah, it's everything is broken down into the different accordions, bootstrap accordions. So
But if you pop open that copies section,
yeah,
that's sort of what we've got in OPAC right now, but it's like completely pared down. Interesting.
it's got everything that I think a patron would need to know.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be a lot easier to like hide some columns in the OPAC than I feel like it is in the staff client.
Yeah. Yeah, and the staff in the OPAC and the Koha OPAC, you don't need all those different columns anyway.
on that bit at the top there, George, right below um right below the on shelf tag here, like this is really, I
Yeah,
think that's the business end where I think Aspen does it really well, because you can just get that list of like, here's the call number, here's the location, here's it's available or not. And for most patrons, that's generally enough.
most patrons I don't even think make it past
Right.
here.
Yes. Yeah.
And it does a fairly good job ferberizing everything. It's got the book, the audiobook, the Hoopla stuff, the Libby stuff. Libby has a Kindle version and a large print version. They're all right there. And somebody's got the e-audio book in Arabic. Wow, that's kind of cool. So
The question is, was it purchased by accident?
the Hoopla version, yeah, that's always a
Oh
question
no,
with
I suppose
Hoopla.
the Hoopla version, yeah.
Yeah. Well, even with Hoopla, there's a possibility that somebody purchased it by accident. Sometimes I think the Hoopla collection development policy is just whatever they can get for less than, what is their maximum cost on something? Is like $4 for their on demand. I don't know for sure because I don't deal with that end of it. So, but I kind of get the impression sometimes that anything, if a publisher is willing to give them a good price on it, they'll just add it regardless of the quality.
There is a ton of garbage in Hoopla.
There is a ton of garbage in Hoopla, yeah.
I would have actually been resistant to putting it into Aspen if we had it, just because it's just so much shovelware.
Yeah, there's a feature in Aspen that we've turned on that if the Hoopla record says it's a summary, that should prevent it from showing up in our Aspen. But not all of the records that are summaries the records don't always have the proper format in the proper field. So there are some things that end up in our Aspen that probably shouldn't be, but yeah, there's some questionable stuff available on Hoopla. One of the things that for us, one of the benefits of Aspen is we had Hoopla, all of our libraries were members except for the school district, because Hoopla doesn't do business with the school districts. And some of the libraries would want to drop out occasionally because they didn't like the prices. They were, it's an uncontrolled price. It's hard to limit. So it can be a surprise cost on your.
We had to drop it this year just because it was getting too expensive.
But one of the nice things about switching to Aspen is our libraries have control over it now, because in Koha we had it so that it appeared whenever you did a search, there were the Hoopla results in Aspen in Koha that you could go click out to. But in Aspen, if since we have essentially a separate OPAC for each library, the libraries that don't want to use Hoopla, they have dropped it now, because that way. Before, the issue would always be if a library didn't want to use Hoopla, their patrons could still see it in the catalog, and then they would come into the library and go, well, I want to download this. And their library would have to explain, well, we don't want you to do that. And so most libraries did it just so that they could avoid those conversations with people. But now they just don't have it. And we've had more libraries adopt the statewide Libby platform here in Kansas, because that can be scoped onto their Aspen without the same issues. So there have been benefits to Aspen. There's some things that have been great about it, and there's some things that aren't so great, but I think things are improving. So. And that is totally not Koha related, and it's almost time to move on. I have immediately after this is the Aspen catalogers meeting that I'm going to go to. So
I think this is a good place to wrap up, unless anybody else has anything they want to talk about or share.
Just quick question. What is the system preference for the check-in table length?
That one I put in the chat, the
What was it?
numReturned items to show.
Oh, okay. Yes, thank you.
Hmm.
I missed that. I do have something going on that weekend, George. I won't. I'll be around when you're coming through Fargo on the way there, but I am going to see Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass.
Oh,
in
cool.
Sioux Falls on Sunday. So
That'll almost be worth going back up there for.
well, you'll be coming through. I don't know when you're coming back, but I don't know.
Robin and I are leaving on the 30th on Tuesday.
Oh,
And I don't know how early in the morning we're leaving.
and when are you coming back?
I think Saturday morning.
Oh, okay, because concert's on the 5th. So just delay a day. Stop on the way back.
I think the week before next week is Jason and I are going to WolfCon.
Mm.
And a week or so after, God, I've overdid it with the conferences. So I get back on like the night of the 4th, and then on the 14th, I go to Nashville for the Aspen conference. And I don't have to do a presentation there. That's good news. So I'm just on a panel, so I can sleep and wait until somebody asks me a question.
All right, well, we will do this again next week. I'll try and touch base with Lucas about the name change and all that. Maybe try and get him to come next month. What is next month? Next month's October. I will definitely be here for that one. Probably won't be here for the November one. But that doesn't mean you guys can't meet.
November would be the 20th, right?
That sounds right. It's the third Thursday.
Yeah, I think that's the 20th.
Yeah, I will be at koha-con, so
Ah, in
probably
Wellington.
sleeping or something during this meeting. I don't know how the time difference works.
Have fun. Glad
I
you guys
think
have the money to send somebody. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, I was supposed to go in 2020 and then COVID happened.
Um,
So since my old boss said I could go, my new boss is like, well, I have to let you go because the old boss said you could go. So we did have enough in the travel budget to like shift things around. Yeah, I also overdid on the conferences this year. So next year you might not see me at all.
so. Liz from NEKLS went to the conference in Wellington, then she got a job there. So, are you going to try and do the same thing? Get a job in New Zealand while you're in New Zealand?
I highly doubt it. My mom would like hunt me down and drag me home because she's that kind of crazy. So, um. No, probably not. I'm just going to see the sights and enjoy the conference, which sounds like it's going to be a celebration of Koha. So sounds like it's going to be good.
Cool.
All right. Well, I will see you guys next month, if not before. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
See you later. Ah, there we go.